Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video in honor of LGBT plus History Month. So without any further ado, the first book on this list is called Dangerous Remedy. This story is a YA historical fantasy set during the French Revolution, and it follows a pair of Sapphic main characters who are part of a friend group where they rescue people who are about to be guillotined. However, their latest rescue doesn't go quite the way that they expect. This book is absolutely so excellent and it's so fantastic. I literally love this trilogy so much. First of all, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. The world building is amazing and it's so immersive and it's so magical. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The mystery is so captivating. I felt so riveted from the beginning to the end. This trilogy is absolutely so amazing and it's so underrated, and this also deserves so much more hype because this book is so good. It's the start of a great adventure with an awesome found family, and the Sapphic romance is so well developed and so well paced. And I love their chemistry and their connection literally so much. This book is so good and it's absolutely so excellent. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Most Dazzling Girl in Berlin. This story is a YA historical fiction following a young Sapphic main character as she discovers her own voice and her own sexuality in 1930s Berlin at the cusp of World War II as she finds a job in the gay cabaret scene. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so good. First of all, the free verse format is so unbelievably pretty and incredible and lyrical and just so good. The setting is so vivid and it's so well researched, and the plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The Sapphic romance is so beautiful and it's absolutely so lovely. I felt the love that these two characters had for each other so well because it was brought to life so well. This book is so good, and again, it's so underrated. This book is so excellent and it deserves all the hype and so much more because I truly loved it so much. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called A Clash of Steel. For those who don't know, this book is a YA historical fiction Asian queer retelling of Treasure Island, and it was absolutely so good. First of all, the Asian culture really came to life so well, and the setting felt so vivid and so well researched. The plot was so engaging and so intriguing. The romance was so cute, and I truly love slow burn romances so much because I really got to know them individually as characters before they fell in love with each other. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but basically the characters were so well developed and so distinct. I loved the setting, I loved the plot, I love everything about it. I don't think I've ever read the original Treasure Island, so I had no idea what to expect from the plot or the story itself. But overall, this book was really good, and it also introduced me to this remixed classic series that I literally love so much. But anyway, the point is, the POC representation as well as the queer representation was spot on, and I just really enjoyed every single second of this book. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Last Night at the Telegraph Club. This story is a YA historical fiction following a young Chinese lesbian, and it's set in 1954 during San Francisco's Red Scale. So it's not exactly the safest time to not only be queer, but also be Chinese. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so lyrical. First of all, the writing is unbelievably beautiful and it's so well done. The setting is so immersive and it's so vivid. The romance is so cute and I love them so deeply. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The perspectives made so much sense, and I just love this book so much. This book deserves all of its hype and so much more because it's absolutely so incredible and it's so lovely and it's so vivid, and you can feel the love in it. You know what I mean? It feels so honest and so well done and just so good and just so awesome. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Music from Another World. This story is a YA historical fiction, and not only is it an epistolary story, which is absolutely one of my favorite formats of all time, but it's also set during the summer of 1977, and it follows one bisexual main character, and the other one I believe identifies as a lesbian. But anyway, overall, two Sapphic main characters who meet through being pen pals, hence the format, and it's so well done. This book is absolutely so good, and I really enjoyed it literally so much. First of all, the story was excellent, and I love it. The two main characters are so well developed and so distinct. I loved learning about them individually as well as together because their connection and their chemistry made so much sense. The romance was so well paced and so great. The setting is amazing. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. Everything about this book felt so well done and just absolutely so well researched and so vivid and just so good. This book deserves so much more hype because it's absolutely so underrated and it's so fantastic. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This story is a YA historical fiction that dictates the life of Evelyn Hugo, who is a fictional bisexual half-Cuban actress, and it talks about how she entered Hollywood in the 1950s and how she left the show business in the 1980s, and basically everything in between, as well as, of course, the seven husbands along the way. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. I definitely understand the criticisms behind it regarding race and everything, particularly like Black people, as a Black person myself. But aside from that, really, I love this book so much. Literally, like, I love the characters, I love the plot, I love the way that it's written, I love the romances. This book is incredible. I love the historical fiction setting. When I read this book last year, I cried so much because I felt it so much. Like, it felt so emotional and so well done and so excellent and just so good. I just really enjoyed this book so much, and I definitely think it's worth its hype and so much more. However, with that said, I will be seated for the adaptation, but I also think that Netflix will ruin it. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, all that to say, I would highly recommend this book. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called A Million to One. This story is a YA Sapphic historical fiction heist on the Titanic. What more do you need to know? This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so good. The characters really made the story come to life because, like, even though I've seen the Titanic movie and I know the history of the Titanic, the plot didn't feel predictable at all because I was so connected emotionally to the characters individually. Like, I love their group dynamic so much. They each felt individually well developed, which sometimes isn't the case with books with multiple perspectives. But in this book, it worked so well. Like, the plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The setting felt so vivid and so well researched. The Sapphic romance was so cute and so well paced. And I just really enjoyed this book so much. I think it deserves all of its hype and so much more. I remember before it came out, everyone was gunning for it because everyone was so excited and so intrigued by the concept. And sometimes when there's a book that everyone's gunning for, sometimes when the book actually comes out, it's not as good as everyone says, but this book absolutely is, and it's so good and it's so excellent. And anyway, all that said, I really enjoyed it, and with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So, in conclusion, historical fiction is one of my favorite genres, and I think it's so important to read, especially when it comes to marginalized communities, as history starts to repeat itself. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the telephone emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!